theory and what evidence supports it. Some key terms to remember is mitochondria, membrane-bound cell organelles that generate the energy necessary to power cells. Chloroplast, membrane-bound organelle known as a plastid that conducts photosynthesis mostly in plant and algal cells. Other key terms to remember is prokaryotes. Prokaryotes has no nucleus, no membrane-bound organelles, while eukaryotes has a nucleus and has membrane-bound organelles. Okay, let's get into it. In 1883, botanist Andreas Schimper was looking at the plastid organelles of a plant cells using a microscope. As he watched the plastids divide, he noticed something odd. The process looked familiar to the way some free-living bacteria divided. During the 1950s and 60s, scientists found that both mitochondria and chloroplasts inside plant cells had their own DNA. It was different from the rest of the plant cell DNA. When scientists looked a little closer at the genes in the mitochondrial and plastid DNA, they found that the genes were more like those from prokaryotes. This tells us that organelles are more closely related to prokaryotes. The endosymbiotic theory states that mitochondria and chloroplasts are membrane-bound organelles that were engulfed by eukaryotic cells billions of years ago. The mitochondria and the chloroplasts are both organelles that were once free-living cells. They were prokaryotes that ended up inside of other cells, also known as the host cell. They may have joined the other cell by being eaten, a process called phagocytosis, or perhaps they are parasites of that host cell. However, rather than being digested by or killed by the host cell, the inner cells survived and together they thrived. Like renters, the host cell provides a comfortable, safe place to live, and the organelle pays rent by making energy that the host can use. This happened a long time ago, and over time the organelle and the host cell have evolved together. Now one could not exist without the other. Today they function as a single organism. We can still find evidence of the free-living past of the organelles if we look closely. And here's a diagram of how endosymbiotic theory works. Some evidence of endosymbiotic theory include the membrane. The outer membrane from the eukaryotic cell, inner membrane prokaryotic cell come from the eukaryotic cell engulfing them. And then you can see that happening here on the diagram below. Another piece of evidence of the endosymbiotic theory is through DNA. Mitochondria and chloroplasts have their own DNA that resembles prokaryotic cells. And you can also see that in the diagram below. Alright, and that's it for my video. Thank you so much for watching.